The Discovery and First Contact. The massive exploration vessel Pathfinder drifted silently through the void, its sensors sweeping across the endless expanse of stars that made up the Perseus Arm. Commander Elena Reyes stood at the main viewport, her dark eyes reflecting the distant stellar bodies as she contemplated their 3-year mission. Exploration had become humanity's obsession, since achieving faster-than-light travel 50 years prior, but the thrill of discovery had begun to fade as they encountered system after system of lifeless rocks and gas giants. "Commander, we're picking up unusual energy fluctuations from the Kappa-12 system," Lieutenant Hiroshi Tanaka reported, his voice cutting through Raya's contemplation. "The signature doesn't match anything in our database." Reyes turned, one eyebrow raised with practiced skepticism. "Natural phenomenon." "Negative. The patterns show clear evidence of artificial modulation. Whatever it is, someone made it." This caught her full attention. The Kappa-12 system wasn't on their priority list, a red dwarf with a handful of planets deemed uninhabitable during preliminary scans decades ago. No one had bothered to take a closer look. "How far?" 2 days at standard FTL, Tanaka replied. Rice didn't hesitate. "Adjust course. Let's see what we found." The journey passed in a blur of speculation and preparation. If they'd discovered a new alien civilization, it would be only the third humanity had encountered since venturing to the stars. The previous encounters had been with species barely at the industrial level. First contact protocols were clear, but tensions aboard ship ran high as they approached the source of the signal. What they found defied all expectations. As the Pathfinder dropped out of FTL at the edge of the Kappa-12 system, the sensor arrays lit up like festival lights. The second planet, previously catalogued as a barren rock too close to its star for habitability, now gleamed with artificial structures visible even from their distant position. Massive orbital platforms formed geometric patterns around the planet, connected by shimmering energy conduits that pulsed with power. "Full scan," Rise ordered, her voice barely above a whisper. Science Officer Dr. Lakshmi Patel worked her console with practiced efficiency. "I'm detecting advanced technology unlike anything we've seen before. Energy readings are off the charts. And Commander," she paused, disbelief evident in her voice, "I'm picking up human genetic markers." "They're human." A stunned silence fell over the bridge. Humans, this far from Earth, with technology that surpassed their own. Impossible. Before anyone could respond, a transmission cut through their communication system, bypassing their encryption as if it didn't exist. "Earth Vessel Pathfinder," came a voice, smooth and confident. "You are recognized and welcomed. Please maintain your position. A delegation is being dispatched to greet you." Security Chief Marcus Graham's hand instinctively moved to his sidearm. "How do they know our ship's name?" "We haven't broadcast any identification." The answer came minutes later as a small craft approached at impossible speed, decelerating with an ease that defied the known laws of physics. It matched their position and extended a docking tube without requesting permission. Rise assembled a first contact team. Herself, Security Chief Graham, Dr. Patel, and Communications Specialist Zhou Chen. They stood at the airlock, a mixture of trepidation and excitement coursing through them. When the doors slid open, they found themselves face to face with beings who were unmistakably human, yet subtly different. Their visitors, 3 women and 2 men, stood with perfect posture, their movements fluid and precise. Their skin had a slight luminescence, and their eyes held a depth that seemed to look through rather than at the Pathfinder crew. One woman stepped forward, her silver jumpsuit adorned with intricate circuitry patterns that pulsed with gentle light. "I am Director Cassandra Vega of the Phoenix Collective. On behalf of our people, I welcome our long-lost kin." Reyes found her voice. "Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth Exploration Corps. We were not aware of any human colonies in this system." Vega smiled, the expression genuine yet somehow alien. "That is because we were never a colony, Commander. We are survivors." Over the next hours, as the Pathfinder crew were escorted to the planet's surface in the visitor's craft, the impossible story unfolded. 230 years earlier, the generation ship Phoenix had been launched toward the promising Epsilon Eridani system, carrying 10,000 colonists in cryostasis. 6 decades into their journey, a catastrophic drive failure had sent them tumbling off course. The ship's AI had made the only choice it could, diverting to the nearest star system with any chance of supporting life. The Phoenix had crashed on Kappa 12's second planet, then a barren, radiation-bathed world with only the thinnest atmosphere. Only 3,000 colonists had survived the landing. Our ancestors faced impossible odds, Vega explained as they toured a vast underground complex of gleaming corridors and impossibly advanced technology. The planet was lethal. Radiation levels were extreme, temperatures fluctuated wildly, and there were no native life forms to build an ecosystem from. Dr. Petal shook her head in disbelief. "How did you survive?" "By changing," another of their hosts replied. He introduced himself as Dr. Elias Morgan, lead geneticist. The Phoenix carried an experimental biotech lab designed to help adapt crops to alien soil. Our ancestors repurposed it. When adaptation failed, they turned to transformation. The implications were staggering. Faced with extinction, the survivors had used genetic engineering, nanotechnology, and cybernetic enhancement to adapt themselves to their harsh new home. Each generation had been further modified, better adapted, more integrated with their technology. By the third generation, Morgan continued, we began to thrive rather than merely survive. By the fifth, we had mastered molecular engineering at the quantum level. We transformed our planet rather than just ourselves. The evidence was all around them. What had once been an uninhabitable rock was now a garden world, though not one designed for baseline humans. The atmosphere had been engineered to filter the red dwarf's radiation while maintaining optimal composition for their modified physiology. The landscape was dotted with crystalline structures that served as both habitation and technology, grown rather than built. You've come further in 2 centuries than Earth has in 5, Rise observed, unable to keep the awe from her voice. Vega's expression turned serious. Necessity is a powerful accelerant, Commander. When survival depends on innovation, progress comes quickly. As they reached what appeared to be a central command hub, Rice finally asked the question that had been nagging at her since their arrival. Why have you never contacted Earth? Your technology clearly allows for interstellar communication. A subtle tension filled the air as the Phoenix representatives exchanged glances. We tried, Vega admitted, 140 years ago, when we developed sufficient technology. We received no response. 50 years later, we sent a small vessel toward Earth. It returned with concerning news. What news? Graham asked, his security training making him instantly alert. That Earth had encountered other species and signed restrictive treaties limiting human expansion and technological development. That the government suppressed innovation to maintain peaceful relations with alien powers who feared human potential. Rice frowned. It was true that the Arcturus Accords had established boundaries for human expansion, but they had been necessary to prevent conflicts with the Valyrian Confederation, a loose alliance of 3 alien species who controlled much of the neighboring space. The Accords prevented war, she defended. They prevented growth, Vega countered. They confined humanity to a mere 27 star systems, while the Valyrians control over 200. They restricted research into technologies the Valyrians found threatening. Is that why you've remained hidden? You fear the Accords would apply to you. Vega's smile returned, but now it held an edge that sent a chill down Raya's spine. No, Commander. We remained hidden because we were preparing. The Kappa 12 system is merely our birthplace. We have established outposts in 14 nearby systems over the last 60 years. We have built a fleet, and now that Earth has found us, the time for hiding is over. A holographic display activated, showing hundreds of ships emerging from concealed positions throughout the system. Vessels of designs Reyes had never seen, sleek and predatory. The Valyrians have suppressed humanity's potential for too long, Vega stated, her voice hardening. The Phoenix Collective will no longer allow this. We are humanity unchained, and we will secure our rightful place among the stars. In that moment, Reyes realized they hadn't discovered a lost colony. They had awakened the sleeping giant. The power shift and galactic implications. 6 months after the Pathfinder's discovery, the galaxy's political landscape had been irrevocably altered. Admiral William Chen stood before the Earth Alliance Security Council, his uniform crisp but his eyes heavy with exhaustion. The holographic displays surrounding the chamber showed real-time updates from across human space, fleets repositioning, diplomatic channels buzzing, markets fluctuating wildly. At the center, a three-dimensional map highlighted the rapidly expanding territory of the Phoenix Collective in pulsing red. They'd secured control of 23 star systems, Chen reported to the grim-faced council members. Most were uninhabited, but 3 were Valyrian outposts. The Collective neutralized their defenses with minimal casualties and offered the occupants safe passage out. The Valyrians are calling it an act of war. Councillor Diaz, representing the Mars colonies, leaned forward. And how exactly did the Collective accomplish this? The Valyrian defense networks were supposed to be impenetrable. Chen's jaw tightened. The Phoenix vessels use a form of drive technology we've never seen. They can make micro-jumps within a star system, appearing inside defense perimeters without warning. Their weapon systems appear to manipulate gravitational fields at a quantum level, bypassing conventional shields. Technologies that violate the Arcturus Accords, noted Councillor Okafor, the Earth representative. Technologies the Valyrians forbade us from developing, countered Councillor Rodriguez of the Alpha Centauri systems, not bothering to hide her admiration, while they developed them in secret. The debate that followed was heated. The Phoenix Collective had placed the Earth Alliance in an impossible position, caught between their treaty obligations to help contain human expansion and the undeniable fact that the Collective was now a major power that could not be easily controlled. Commander Reyes, recently promoted for her role in the First Contact, watched from the gallery. Since returning to Earth space, she had been debriefed countless times by military intelligence, geopolitical analysts, and the Council itself. Her first-hand knowledge of the Collective made her invaluable, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she had set something unstoppable in motion. A priority alert silenced the Council's debate. The chamber's main display switched to show a live transmission from the Valyrian High Command, the first direct communication since the crisis began. High Marshal Thex of the Valyrian Confederation appeared on screen, his elongated features set in an expression Reyes had learned to recognize as controlled rage. Earth Alliance, the alien began without preamble. Your rogue colony has seized another of our outposts in the Deneb sector. They have deployed weapons of mass destruction against our fleet. This aggression cannot stand. Admiral Chen stepped forward. High Marshal, we are not in control of the Phoenix Collective. They operate independently. They are human. Thex interrupted, and under the Arcturus Accords, you are responsible for all human expansion. You assured us that humanity was contained to the agreed-upon sectors. You have violated our trust. The Phoenix colony was established before the Accords. Councillor Okafor objected. We had no knowledge of their existence. Irrelevant. Thex's voice was cold. The Valyrian Confederation hereby demands that Earth bring these rogues to heel within 30 standard days, or we will consider the Arcturus Accords null and void. We will take whatever measures necessary to protect our territories. The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. They're threatening war, Councillor Diaz whispered. A war we cannot win, Chen acknowledged grimly. The Valyrian fleet outnumbers ours 6-1. The crisis accelerated from there. Earth dispatched its most senior diplomats to Phoenix Prime, as the Collective had named their homeworld, while simultaneously mobilizing the fleet. The Valyrians began massing their forces along the borders of human space, their aggressive posturing sending waves of fear throughout Earth's colonies. Rice found herself back aboard the Pathfinder, now designated as a diplomatic vessel, racing toward a rendezvous point where representatives from Earth, the Collective, and the Valyrian Confederation had agreed to meet. The fate of 3 civilizations, and potentially many more, hung in the balance. The neutral meeting ground was an ancient space station orbiting a nameless neutron star, its origins unknown but predating all 3 civilizations. As the Pathfinder approached, Reyes could see dozens of vessels in orbit, the sleek, crystalline ships of the Phoenix Collective, the organic-looking Valyrian cruisers, and the utilitarian vessels of the Earth Alliance. Inside, tension crackled like static electricity. Earth's delegates, led by Ambassador Sarah Abraham, entered the vast circular chamber simultaneously with the Valyrian delegation, led by High Marshal Thex himself. Both parties stopped short when they saw who represented the Phoenix Collective. Director Cassandra Vega sat alone at her delegation's table, apparently unarmed and unguarded. "Where are your security personnel, Director?" Ambassador Ibrahim asked, clearly concerned. Vega smiled that same unsettling smile Reyes remembered from their first meeting. "I require none, Ambassador. Shall we begin?" The negotiations quickly devolved into accusations and threats. The Valyrians demanded the Collective withdraw from all contested systems and submit to the terms of the Arcturus Accords. Earth tried desperately to mediate, proposing compromise after compromise that neither side found acceptable. Through it all, Vega remained serene, almost amused. Finally, High Marshal Thex lost his legendary composure. "You test our patience, human. The Collective has one final chance to submit, or face the full might of the Valyrian fleet." Vega's expression didn't change. "Is that truly the path you wish to take, Marshal?" "It is not a threat," Thex growled. "It is a promise. Our dreadnoughts even now prepare to move against your homeworld." "I am aware," Vega replied calmly, "just as I am aware that 43 of your 65 dreadnoughts have experienced catastrophic drive failures in the past hour." A deathly silence fell over the chamber. Thex reached for his communication device, his long fingers trembling slightly. After a moment, his posture sagged almost imperceptibly. When he spoke again, his voice had lost its edge. "What have you done?" "We installed quantum-entangled disruptors in your fleet's drive systems 3 years ago," Vega explained, as if discussing something as mundane as the weather. "Your engineers never detected them, because the technology is beyond your understanding. We could have disabled your entire fleet, but chose to demonstrate our capabilities on only a portion." Ambassador Ibrahim stared in shock. 3 years ago. You've been planning this for that long." "We've been planning for much longer, Ambassador. The Valyrians have never been honest brokers. While preaching peace, they've been developing weapons to ensure we could never challenge their dominance. While enforcing the Arcturus Accords on Earth, they've been violating its principles in secret." Vega stood, suddenly commanding the room despite her small stature. "The Arcturus Accords are indeed null and void, but not by our action, by Valyrian deception. We have discovered 7 secret research facilities in supposedly neutral space where they have been developing biological weapons specifically designed to target human physiology." She gestured, and holographic evidence appeared above the table. Internal Valyrian communications, facility schematics, weapon designs. Reyes felt sick as she realized the implications. The Valyrians hadn't feared human aggression. They had been planning genocide. High Marshal Thex did not deny the accusations. His silence was confirmation enough. "The order of things has changed," Vega continued. "The Phoenix Collective proposes a new arrangement. We will dismantle our outposts in traditional Valyrian space. In exchange, the non-aggression principle of the Arcturus Accords will remain in effect, but all restrictions on human technological development and expansion will be removed." She turned to the Earth delegation. "And to our Earth kin, we offer partnership, not absorption, not control, but cooperation. We will share our technologies, gradually, to prevent social disruption and help secure humanity's future among the stars. The negotiations continued for 3 more days, but the outcome was never really in doubt. With half their fleet disabled and their secret plans exposed, the Valyrians had little choice but to accept the new reality. Earth, discovering both the depth of Valyrian duplicity and the potential benefits of alliance with their advanced cousins, quickly agreed to Vega's terms. 1 month later, Reyes stood on the observation deck of Phoenix Prime's orbital platform, watching as the first official delegation from Earth arrived. Beside her, Director Vega observed the proceedings with satisfaction. "You planned all of this," Reyes said, "not a question, but a realization. Finding the Pathfinder, revealing yourselves when you did. It was all calculated." Vega nodded. "We needed Earth to discover us. Direct contact would have been seen as aggression. This way, the revelation came through proper channels. And now humanity stands at the threshold of a new era." Reyes mused, watching as Earth's diplomats and scientists disembarked, their faces filled with wonder at the marvels that surrounded them. "Not just humanity," Vega corrected. "The galaxy itself is rebalancing. For too long, the Valyrians and their allies have dominated, controlling resources, restricting development, maintaining their advantage through manipulation rather than merit." She gestured toward the stars visible through the vast viewport. "There are other species out there, younger races, oppressed species, civilizations held back just as humanity was. Already, 3 have reached out to us since our emergence, seeking alliance against Valyrian dominance." Reyes understood then what the collective had truly accomplished. Not just freedom for humanity, but a fundamental reshaping of galactic politics. The Phoenix had indeed risen from the ashes of near extinction to become a force that could no longer be ignored. "What comes next?" she asked. Vega's eyes gleamed with the same determination that had carried her people through centuries of hardship and transformation. "Now, Commander Reyes, we build something better than what came before. Together. As humanity's 2 branches, one tempered by adversity, one transformed by necessity, began their reunion, a new chapter in galactic history had begun. The lost colony had not only emerged, they had changed the rules of the game entirely. And the stars themselves would never be the same.